Good evening. So recently I bought a pop-up hide, as you can see here. It's a really good one actually. It's a Simon King one. It's got all sorts of little adaptations that are perfect for photography and perfect for videography. I've had it for quite a while now and haven't had a proper chance to use it. So this evening I've come to a spot that I've been meaning to try for quite some time, and I'm going to try and get some good photos. So fingers crossed, let's get started. Okay, so admittedly not the sort of wild spot you were thinking. It's actually my back garden. Okay, so I say my back garden, it's not mine, it belongs to my parents, but it really is a brilliant place for photography, and I've wanted to get here for quite some time and get some decent photos. So one of the main reasons is this pond behind me. Birds are always in it because we built it to be a wildlife pond. But what actually is a wildlife pond? A wildlife pond is actually quite a loose term, but for me it's something that has plenty of marginal vegetation, ideally a lot of native species to encourage the native wildlife, but crucially a sloping bank where birds can bathe, but more importantly, if you're an unsuspecting hedgehog or vole or mouse of some kind, or perhaps a lion, having a drink on the side of the pond, and you happen to, say, fall in for reasons out of your control, then you can simply swim up the bank rather than being stuck in there by the really steep edges surrounding most ponds. Another reason is that we feed them quite a lot. We've got all sorts of bird feeders all around, and as a result we get blackbirds and jays and crows and all sorts like that all over the lawn. If I can get low enough and if I can get close enough, I should be able to get some really nice up close portrait shots. At the moment the sun's still a little bright, so I'm probably going to wait for it to go down a bit, but once it's done that I should be able to get some lovely shots. So I'm just ready to get started. But before we do, let me explain what we've got here. So this is the pop-up hide. It's a Simon King one that I think I may have already mentioned. One of the reasons this was so appealing to me, A, is because it does pop up, B, because it comes with pegs like this that can go straight into the ground if you're on a grassy area or anywhere that's soft, but it also comes with flaps, just like this one here, which means that you can weight it down if you're on like a beach or in this case on a patio, which means that I can leave it here for a few days for the birds to get used to it without killing all of the grass. The key reason though that I wanted this is because it's got multiple points for which to set up the camera. Oh hello Pops, do you wanna? You gonna show him where the point? Do you wanna go in? Do you wanna? That's it. You show them. So that's the. Go on in. My assistant's just gonna demonstrate the. No, you. Do you wanna? Go on in. In you go. You're gonna go in. That's it. So you can see quite a large style opening on the bottom, big enough to fit a small dog in. That's a really useful thing because any time you can get to the eye level of the subject, you stand a chance of creating a much stronger image, something that has a much better impact and makes you forget that there is a photographer there. Isn't that right, Pops? You knew that. This is Poppy, by the way. Face the camera, you're gonna... So what I'm going to do now, set up my seat inside the little stool that I've got, my 500mm lens on a gimbal and a tripod, leave it poking out the top so everything gets used to it, weigh down all the edges in case there's a gust of wind, and then just go inside and wait for a bit. Fingers crossed we get something interesting. I hadn't been in the hide long before I realised I was at the wrong angle to get the kind of shots I was after, so I moved the hide closer and waited. After a couple of uncontrollable disturbances, they soon began to land. I think the reason that they landed so quickly was because it had been in the garden for about a week already, so they were already quite comfortable with it. Believe it or not, despite it being such common behaviour, nobody actually knows why birds bathe. There are plenty of theories, to cool down on a hot day or maybe keep parasites at bay. The most generally accepted theory is it's to keep feathers in optimum condition, so as to keep the ability to fly and therefore be able to avoid predators and other things like that. But to my knowledge, none have actually been scientifically proven. Anyway, after realising they were quite comfortable, I got back into the hide, and it wasn't long before the sparrows started to show. Because the light was so strong, I was able to keep taking these photos at a very high shutter speed and freeze all of the action, maximising the detail. blackbird soon followed and turned out to be the most frequent visitor and by far the most violent and vigorous when washing. They also seem to be able to pick up and move the largest amounts of water by a considerable margin. Later on in that afternoon, the sun started to get a little lower and the smaller birds seemed to take the opportunity to bathe before bed. By the time the sun had gone down a bit and the light was just about perfect, I got a visit from a couple of very cute blue tits, which became my favourite photos of the day. Well, that's it. It's hang on, just go down. Oh, well, that's it. The sun's just about too low, which means it's not really showing on the pond anymore, and the photos just aren't coming out good enough. However, it has been a really good day. I've got some amazing photos, better than I was expecting actually. And it just goes to show that even in a place as common as the garden, you can get some really interesting and amazing photos. I'm really chuffed with them. It's the sort of behaviour and detail that I really wasn't expecting to capture so clearly. All in all, a good afternoon's photography. So thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.